start, so we're going to look at remote cannabis accounting practice. This, could apply to any niche. One of the big ideas I talk to people about, the whole idea of picking one niche and becoming an expert in it, and not just any niche. You want a really, really good niche. What's a really, really good niche? That's a whole nother topic. But a hint is you'll find lots and lots of startups, lots of M&A, lots of VCs, lots of angel investors, lots of venture conferences. Think high tech, think medical, think cannabis, think crypto, think oil and gas. Big companies, millions of dollars. You pick a great niche that's everywhere across the U.S. and expanding rapidly, and you become an expert in that, and you know everything about the niche, from the accounting and the tax and the verticals and the products and the brands and the software and all those things. Guess what? That means you can add value to a client anywhere in the U.S. or anywhere in the world where, say you're in Oklahoma and there's a client in your niche in Ohio and they're using a generalist who happens to live down the street or sits next to them in office. That generalist isn't going to do a very good job, and so it's going to add very little value to the client. At the end of the day, the client may think they want Sally or Joe sitting next to them in a room. What they really want is world-class accounting, audit-ready books, improved cash flow, world-class reporting, lower taxes, things done right. They want an expert that knows everything about the industry, so that you as that expert can come in and actually solve problems, not just accounting, tax, but software, compliance, insurance, litigation, M&A. You've just are going to be able to be what I call the right-hand person, the number two person at the company, and add a ton of value in 100 areas. Now, if you're a generalist, you're just not going to be able to do that. And I'll tell you who else is not going to do a great job of that is someone that just offers something very narrow, like bookkeeping only, or tax return only, or fractional CFO only. That model where you need dozens or hundreds of clients, endless marketing funnels to find those clients. That means you're not going to have a ton of time or expertise to serve the client well. So first off, you're going to be less knowledgeable, you're going to have less time, and the client's not going to get what they want. And so for those of us that go very, very deep in an industry, we can build $1 million firm, a one-person firm, with 3 or 4 clients, even 2 clients. We can take equity in our clients as well and have chance at big home runs. And we can also serve any client in the U.S. from anywhere. And so that's kind of the high level pitch of why you want to do this. I go way back. Every year as we get more and more tools, it's easier. So when I first left, I was in public in the 90s. I was a CFO from 2000 to 2010. When we did a big exit, I packed my bags, quit oil and gas forever industry, and moved to Oregon, where I've been in this house ever since for 15 years. Because I wanted to live here. Now, back then, it was a little bit harder. Now, I will say the final year of my employment, I kind of invented what I think is not fractional CFO. I call it a full service CFO. And I tested it out on my 10-year job. I went to my boss, said, I'm leaving. I'm out of here. But guess what? You're paying me more than $500,000 a year plus benefits. I'll get rid of all the benefits. I'll cut my salary in half to $250,000. You're never going to see me in person. And you're not going to, as far as deliverables that I've given you the last 9 years, it's going to be the exact same. I'll manage the staff, the accounting, everything. I'll just do it remotely. So from your chair at your other side of the building, and by the way, Ramsey, you don't come down to visit me very much at the other side of the building. Anyway, so I said, I'll do that. He took me up on that. And then I did that for a year. And then I went into the high-tech industry on the West Coast and joined B2B CFO. But even back then, we didn't have Zoom rooms where we could do like this. I could be talking face-to-face. I would say when COVID happened, Google Meetup, Teams, Zoom, whatever else, Loom you want to use, that was a huge game changer as far as the tool, because now we can sit in a virtual room with 6 people or just me and the CEO, and like this we can talk back and forth, we can record it even, which is even better than the old school. We had a big conference room in my CFO building. We could go have meetings there, but they weren't recorded and you had to take notes. So now it's even better. Is a Zoom conference as good as in person? Maybe not quite, but probably 90% is good, and it's more efficient. No one wastes time driving anywhere as well, and we can again give the client what they need. And so under my business model, if I only need 3 or 4 clients, or maybe 5 or 6 at the most, that means what does that tell you right off the bat? Marketing, the thing you all tell me you hate. It's easier. As a matter of fact, marketing comes down to, instead of needing a whole load of clients, to one. If you can get one client, and not only get one client, this is the important part. After you get the client, you need to deliver what I call a top shelf product, a Lamborghini bookkeeping, accounting, tax, compliance, software, and CFO service solution, world-class level. And you layer on top of that world-class, what I call white glove service. Think Four Seasons or 5-star dining or first-class airplane. You layer on the massive service to them, they will pay you top dollar. Not only that, they will rave about you to their other people in the industry. If they're a dispensary, they'll tell their farming customers or their manufacturing vendors or whoever it is. And we've seen many people build that $1 million practice off one client. And so that really makes your marketing easy if you're just looking for that first good client. And again, being able to convey, here's the value I'm bringing, and it's going to be done remote. It's going to be very efficient and effective. I'm going to do way better than any other kind of fractional CFO or some kind of team you built as a CEO. You maybe hired a CFO and then they hired staff, and you use Grant Thornton for your audit, and you have another person doing tax. That's hard for the CEO to manage. They're trying to build their company. And so my contention is, hey, if you're going to build an in-house team with some contractors, you're probably actually going to pay more. Kind of going back to me in 2009, I was able to cut my client, the oil and gas, I cut their fee in half. By walking out the door and switching remote. So I can have a $300,000-$400,000 client, but still be saving them money on managing an in-house team. And by the way, the average CFO in today's world lasts under 2 years. So if you're the CEO of what you think is a 10-year company from startup to exit, you're going to be going through 4 CFOs, and it's always going to happen at a bad time. They're going to be leaving you right when you need them most. If you contract me, we're not leaving, or someone in our program. So there's a lot of value in it to the business owners. Every year that goes by, the business owners actually get remote more, especially after COVID. They are already doing this with their attorneys. And for a while they thought, you have to be on site, but just very simple things, PDF files. Simply being able to take PDFs and email them around or scan them on your phone. Apps on your phone, scanners. I have a scan app on my phone that's free. I don't pay anything for it. If I need an 8-page document scanned, I scan it, toss it there. So I take that PDF, I put it in Dropbox. So we can build perpetual data rooms with our clients in Dropbox. Game changer, not very expensive. PDFs, Dropbox, Zoom, or video conferencing solution. I love using a video software called BombBomb. So if I want to send a 10-minute video to a client going through the financials on my screen, and so he or she can look at it whenever they want, I can do that, send that over very easily. Of course, Excel, the most useful accounting piece of software ever invented. It's been relevant when I started in 95. It's relevant today. It's not going anywhere for a long, long time. QBO, Accounting Suite, Xero, all these cloud-based Sage, all these cloud-based solutions are easy to use as well. And so we really have all those tools we need. And by the way, when I need something at a client, like say inventory counts at the end of the month of the field, I don't want my bookkeeper or accountants doing that anyway. Segregation of duties. I want to appoint and say, okay, Sally and Joe, you work in the field. I want you to count field A. I want you to count field B. I want you to handwrite it in writing so I can see you actually counted. And then I want you to scan it and send it to me. Very easy. Now I've got the inventory counts. And I've also got a good control of segregation of duties. Let me look at my cheat notes from my marketing team. So essential systems and processes. So again, I tell most people to have your business, your world-class cannabis bookkeeping, accounting, tax, and CFO firm. It's very simple. By the way, the CPA or accountant or CFO, are far and away the biggest asset of your business, and you are what you should be investing in: education, programs, knowledge, books. Invest in yourself from today to forever. I still do it at age 61. You can too. So to have that business, you need a laptop, which you probably have. You need a phone. I love the Mac and iPhone because I can share easily. And if I ever lose or need to change it, I just re-upload. Other people, like I know Microsoft or whatever other products. You need your Google, Zoom, Zoom Teams, etc. Slack is the one other productivity tool I really like. It's great for clients for just interacting in group settings without using email for that function. Because when you have, say, you've got a client and they've got 2 growers and an attorney, and we're doing emails back and forth with 6 people, that clogs up everyone's email. If you do it in Slack, you can just monitor 4 conversations ongoing all the time. So that's a good one. Excel, Word, of course. Google Share. I love Google Slides. They're very easy to use and share and update and make copies of for other presentations. So again, you need very little. Most of this you probably have. Gmail, YouTube. YouTube's a handy thing for your business as well. Social media, Instagram and LinkedIn. So get all those little apps, very easy. And then if you layered in the Dope CFO program, if you're a CPA or CFO, that's going to give you all the education to be an expert. It's going to give you live calls every week. It's going to give you access to a national community of experts. So you're going to be building that knowledge continually, daily. You're going to get access to all the events we do and events others are going to. Like just today, I saw 3 other people posting about events this weekend, and they're connecting with people there. And then all the tools, work papers, SOPs, checklist download. We have 162 of them. I just counted last week, including we just updated the whole program in September of this year. And that's everything you would ever need to deliver a world-class product to a client. Now, again, you are the one that layers on the white glove service. You might do that. You probably won't if you keep 40 other tax clients and have 3 other industries. But if you go all in to cannabis, and you can start there. I talked to one lady in our program recently. She stayed with one client. She got laid off in COVID. She landed a client the next week that doubled her salary. So she didn't even have to go job searching because she just sent out an email, her very first email, doubled her salary. She stayed with that client 4 years and grown with them. She's now close to $50,000 a month in fees off that one client. So you can stay with one client and get equity as well, or you can get 2 to 4. You don't need a ton of clients. But again, you really just need one. Same when, I did all this back in Oregon when it wasn't a national industry. It was Oregon, Washington, and Colorado. And back then, when I started 2015, I still wasn't in the remote mindset. We didn't have Zoom yet and all these other things. And so what did I do? I looked around my rinky-dink little hometown of Bend, Oregon. We had 23 dispensaries. We still have those same today. We had some farms, some processing plants, some testing labs. And I got one client. It was very easy. I just picked up the phone. I said, "Hey, Jeremy, I saw you in the Cascade Business News, this teeny little gazette. Looks like you don't have a CFO." And from one client, I quickly had grow clients, testing lab clients, more dispensary clients. I had M&A and exit. I had a publicly traded Canadian company. I got shares in that had a big payoff. This is just in my rinky-dink hometown when the industry was tiny, and this was all under a year. And so it's very, very easy to build that practice out. But again, I don't want to show you how to catch a whale if you're in a rowboat with a fishing pole. You're going to get collapsed. So before you go find that whale that's going to pay you 20, 40, 50 grand a month in equity, you better have it dialed in on what you're going to be providing them, that world-class product. But if you do have those things, all those apps we mentioned, the laptop, the phone, in our program, you're pretty much good to go. And then your education will just keep growing from the base you get in the program just by being on our live calls every week, being in our community, going to events, etc., joining organizations. All right, I think that is about it for today. I think I covered all these hits. One final thing on bullpen, if you want to do it remote. So what do most of these $10 million companies? So every one I had one bookkeeper or degreed accountant at each client. And whether my client paid for them or I did, they're going to be contract basis, not my employee. And by the way, if someone doesn't kill it for me within 2 weeks, they're gone. I'll find somebody else to do that bookkeeping level. A $10 to $20 million company, that's usually one person. I ran the CFO role, and then once a year tax time, I outsourced to tax. So the very first person who ever joined my program summer, she was in Dallas, Texas. And she happened to do tax. And I was like, great, you just got 5 tax clients in Oregon. They loved her. She's still doing their tax work today. So it doesn't take much to build out your bullpen. You want a couple of accountants, a couple of tax people, and you're good to go. All right, well, thanks for everybody. Samantha, yeah, well, it's very easy. Again, all the stuff I just said, that's how you can build this industry as well. And if I know you're saving, that's good to know. And when you're ready, reach out to us. You can always find me, Andrew, at dopecfo.com or our website. And when you're ready, come join in, because it's the quick shortcut in. By the way, Schedule 3 is happening. The final hearing's December 2nd. That's the biggest news in cannabis in this century. I'll say it again, the biggest news in cannabis in this century. We've already seen the massive growth from 0 to 40 billion the last 10 years. What's about to happen the next 2 or 3? You have not seen anything yet. So it's going to be very, very exciting, explosive growth. The industry is going to double very quickly, and I'm super excited. So anyway, have a great day, everybody, and we'll see you next week.